And debate number one is the biggest political development that took place in the state of Tamil Nadu. The battle for power within AIADMK has once again taken center stage, with EPS and OPS locking horns in a massive political slugfest. An ousted AIADMK leader, Vk Sasikala too, wading in the war backing OPS. The nation today witnessed a massive show of strength by OPS and EPS supporters at the AIADMK headquarters in Chennai's Vanagaram. The EPS faction held party's General Council meet after a nod from the Madras High Court. This was not just another AIADMK General Council meet, but a virtual bout to stake claim to the party, and EPS muscled his way to the podium. EPS also tried to bolt the door so that there is no comeback for OPS in what appears to be a knockout punch. Team EPS tabled a resolution to expel OPS from the primary membership of the party on charges of anti-party activities and allying with the DMK to weaken Jayalalitha and MGR's party. The resolution was adopted and soon passed. EPS faction declared that OPS had been ousted along with some of his loyalists. OPS vowed to take the legal route to challenge his expulsion from the party, claiming that EPS camp does not have the power to sack him as he was elected by 1.5 crore workers of the party.
இன்றைய சூழலில் கழகம் சிறப்படைய வேண்டும், கழகம் வலிமை பெற வேண்டும், கழகத்தை காக்கக்கூடிய நிலை இன்னைக்கு நாம தள்ளப்பட்டு விட்டோம். சில எட்டப்பர்கள் கழகத்தில் இருந்து களங்கம் கற்பித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இந்த நிலையிலே, இன்றைக்கு எதிரிகளோடு உறவு வைத்துக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இந்த நிலையிலே அதையெல்லாம் அழிக்க வேண்டும், ஒடுக்க வேண்டும், முறியடிக்க வேண்டும் என்று சொன்னால் ஒற்றை தலைமை வேண்டும் என்று முடிவெடுத்தீர்கள்.
சட்டப்படி நீதிமன்றத்தில் சந்திப்பேன். ஒன்றரை கோடி தொண்டர்களில் உணர்வுபூர்வமான தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்டவன் நான். தொண்டர்களை சந்தித்து நீதி கேட்பேன்.
Well, amid this tussle for control on the AIADMK, Vk Sasikala has also entered the arena, throwing her weight behind OPS. She said that EPS had wrongly expelled OPS and his appointment as party's general secretary was itself questionable. She even touched emotional chords by saying that EPS had hijacked the post of Jayalalitha and therefore party cadre will give him a befitting response.
அவரே பொதுச் செயலாளர் ஆனதுங்கிறதே கேள்விக்குறியா இருக்கும்போது அவர் நீக்கியது எப்படி சொல்லும்?
நிரந்தர பொதுச் செயலாளர் ஜெயலலிதா இல்லைன்னு சொல்லி தீர்மானம் நிறைவேற்றிருக்காங்க.
சரி, அதை எங்க கழக தொண்டர்கள் அதுக்கு தகுந்தான பதிலடியை நிச்சயம் கொடுப்பாங்க.
Well, this is not the first time that Sasikala has openly backed O Pannirselvam. Both OPS and Sasikala are from the Thevar community, which is set to dominate politics in Tamil Nadu. Lately, she also held a rally across Tamil Nadu to support OPS, who has also extended support to Sasikala with several veiled attempts to bring her back to the party fold and by giving her clean chit over the alleged conspiracy against Jayalalitha. Vk Sasikala and OPS have received strong criticism by the EPS camp for making failed attempts to gain control of AIADMK. However, many political pundits believe that the current rift in AIADMK will have larger connotations, and today's developments may trigger yet another split in the AIADMK, impacting the politics of the entire state.
எடப்பாடியார் அவர்களை மீண்டும் முதலமைச்சராக அரியணையில் அமர வைக்கும் வரை நாம் ஓயக்கூடாது, உறங்கக்கூடாது என்று சொல்லி அனைவரும் இன்று முறை அடுத்த முறை ஆட்சிக்கு வருவதற்கு நாம் சூளுரை ஏற்று பணியாற்றுவோம் என்று நீங்க எல்லாம் போல இங்கே சூளுரை ஏற்றி பணியாற்ற வேண்டும் என்று.
They are also asking about Sasikala saying that party cadres will be giving a befitting reply to Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy. How do you respond to that?
She is not at all in the party. Why should actually you are carrying, and most of them they never care. So no, not at all any issue. She simply ignore Sasikala. Okay? Thank you.
Well, is the legacy war over and has EPS won the legacy war? Or will this backfire and hurt his political fortunes? Let's open this up and go across to our guests with those questions. We have senior journalist R. Rajagopalan on the panel with us. We also have senior journalist Shekhar Iyer joining us this evening. Kovai Sathyan, AIADMK representative on the broadcast. We have C. Rajashekharan, lawyer and political analyst on the broadcast as well. Good evening to all of you. We are also waiting presence of V. Pugayendi, the spokesperson of the OPS camp. Let me first begin with you, Kovai Sathyan. You've alleged that OPS was involved in anti-party activities and hence the decision of expelling him. But how do you respond to the allegations of taking over the post of Jayalalitha or her role? Because after her demise, this post was banned and the powers were shifted to the coordinator. Will this revival hurt political fortunes in the coming days? Many are speculating that.
No, absolutely not. It's a clarion call. The need of the hour is single leadership, and who is the right fit to take the party forward. So people decided unanimously that the trust is won by E Palaniswamy, and he had won the hearts of cadres, he had won the hearts of people, he had won the hearts of his peers and colleagues. So it's a clarion call, and it is inevitable. This has nothing to do with bringing disrepute or disgrace to Puruchi Talavi Amma. She is not elevated with the role of a GS or whatsoever it is. She is eternal, and her dream that this party will run the show for 100 more years in TN, that's what we have to work towards to. The dual leadership had its own minuses, and it has costed a lot of things within the party. The third term loss with just mere 3% is yet another example. We could have scripted history by winning the assembly elections for the third consecutive time, which Tamil Nadu had not witnessed post-independence. So taking all these into account,
dual leadership, you're saying dual leadership was responsible for that defeat. Okay, I want to take comments from Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar Iyer, this is very interesting. As far as the OPS camp is concerned, they're calling the entire meet itself invalid, although a go-ahead was given by the courts to go ahead and conduct the meeting. Is there a fear now? I'm not sure if the APS camp is going to accept or agree with me, but is there a fear now of a split with the possibility of Sasikala and OPS coming together?
So, see, OPS has been constantly evoking the name of Sasikala, and he has been trying to, bring back the Tevor card. But what has happened is lot of water has flown down the Kaveri. See, EPS has managed to convince the rank and file that he is the only person who at this juncture can pull the AIADMK out of the crisis it has been facing since it lost the assembly election. Now, OPS was given an opportunity for, with some kind of a formula that probably would have given him some senior position in the party without getting into this kind of problem. But today, OPS has reduced himself to fighting for legalities. But the issue is more than legality, because the rank and file are with the EPS. That is very clear, because they look to EPS not just as a Kongunadu Gounder leader. Rather, they see him as a very, very dynamic AIADMK leader who can actually galvanize the party. And we must understand, in the last few months what has happened is a lot of leaders who belong to the dominant section in Tamil Nadu, that is the Tevor community, a lot of those AIADMK leaders belonging to those communities have also shifted to EPS. Because what they see here is not question of caste identity, more as to what is the future of AIADMK and who can take it out. Because if you take Sasikala cannot contest elections till January 2027, because after release also she cannot contest following that amendment to Representation of People's Act for next 6 years. That means till January 2027 she cannot contest election. She can be leader of the party, but that is not going to help. We saw, in the last assembly election, TTV Dinakaran broke away, formed his own party, had his own symbol, even had some alliances, and tried to work on the Tevor, so-called Tevor vote. But that did not work for him. His candidate lost deposits. So therefore, the future of the AIADMK is seen in the hands of EPS. And other legalities, going to the court and all that. You see, if you recall, in 2017, when there was a kind of a patch-up, that was largely to, save the two leave symbol, which was
Absolutely.
very important. And also they were advised by the BJP and particularly the Prime Minister that they should remember the mandate that the Jayalalitha had got for them and they should work to fulfill it till the assembly elections of 2021. So this agreement between the OPS and EPS was only till the assembly elections.
Okay.
So after that it is question of the future of AIADMK and
The
what
future of the
EPS and other
AIADMK. And those
leaders
comments are
worried
coming in from
is that
Shekhar Iyer, a
opposition
senior
space is
journalist
empty.
who's been following politics in Tamil Nadu from a very long time. Mr. Pugayendi joins us. Mr. Pugayendi, Shekhar Iyer says that the mandate is very clear. It is in favor of EPS, that he can take the party forward. And as far as Sasikala backing OPS is concerned, would not help in mobilizing the cadre or support in their favor. How do you respond?
Good evening. That so his opinion he is telling, but unfortunate, or you believe or not, continuously failed. That MP election, member of parliament election, totally we have lost except only one seat. That is also that he won from Theni. That is the own constitution of this O Pannirselvam. That Ravindranath elected. That is all the out of the 39, 38 we have lost. That assembly election, that all in through the leadership of this Edappadi Palaniswamy, we have lost everything. They are not able to. DMK came to power. The local body election also same thing has happened. That municipality and corporation, all the election gone. This is the thing is going on under leadership of this Edappadi Palaniswamy. Now the problem is that Sasikala, Mrs. Sasikala and Chinnamma, only the elected this Edappadi Palaniswamy announced, that is the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
Elected body, the leader of Tamil party, these things announced by that Sasikala. Unfortunately, later, he don't want to meet Sasikala. He given the very big heart to Sasikala. It has happened in the previous history. Later, then OPS came and joined with merger because of Prime Minister of the
But if there were so
our
many
Modi,
hurdles, if there were so many problems and differences between
joined.
both the camps, Mr. Pugayendi, and if there was only setback, debacle after debacle for the AIADMK under the leadership of EPS, why didn't you call it off?
Yes. You know, the problem is, now the problem nothing. That December 2021, they have passed the resolution through the committee, that is the Sayer Kudu, we are used to call that. That is the executive committee. The coordinator and joint coordinator shall be primary membership of the party for a continuous period of 5 years, electing. The coordinator and joint coordinator shall be elected by the member of the General Council. Cannot change this. Cannot do anything. But again the same story. Now he is trying to cheat, and altogether then immediately he conducted on the General Council meeting without the knowledge of the Chief OPS, and immediately announced we are removed. I am going to rule like this.
Okay.
This is the thing going on.
Okay. I want to bring in Mr. Rajgopal. Both factions, we've heard both factions, both sides, both camps blaming it on each other. The EPS camp and faction saying that it was due to anti-party activities, his involvement with the DMK, that he has been expelled. Of course, OPS hitting back, saying he'll take this fight to the court.
There is nothing called EPS faction and OPS faction. Please correct. This is the third time you are mentioning.
Okay.
There is no split. He is a rebel. Please stop addressing as EPS faction and OPS faction. I am AIADMK. I represent
Okay, you're AIADMK and they are rebels.
OPS is an isolated land. He is a political orphan today.
Mr.
As a rebel,
Mr. Rajgopalan,
I am sorry.
political future and fortunes of the AIADMK, how do you see it?
OPS only.
Legacy war, Swati, you asked about the legacy war. I would interpret in such a way which will be very easily understandable by the North Indian audience of Times Now. Legacy war is won by Edappadi Palaniswamy today. EPS got into the trap by organizing the violence and locking up the headquarters of ADMK, where MGR and Jayalalitha have lived their life. How can EPS function as a general secretary from tomorrow from the headquarters of the ADMK, that is in Lloyd's Road? And moreover, in that headquarters, Swati, for North Indian viewers, I must explain, where Jayalalitha won 3-4 times. And the OPS had a hooliganism there. He made a big trauma and created a commotional situation. and there was lucky charge by the police, and net result, OPS handed over AIADMK party headquarters to DMK, that is to Tamil Nadu police. They locked it and they are having the key apart from that. Now, further to explain, in simple terms, EPS, Yedapati Palaniswamy has become Eknath Shinde, and like Uddhav Thackeray, OPS has become like Uddhav Thackeray. That is for the all India perspective. The second thing, EPS is the person who can take on DMK. EPS, Yedapati Palaniswamy, is the real opposition leader. From next assembly session onwards, you wait and watch how the Tamil Nadu assembly is going to be functional. Because even Mr. OPS will lose his deputy opposition leadership. The reason is OPS got into the trap of DMK and he gave in to them. This is the second thing. Thevar community lost their balance on AIADMK. Now Gounder community has taken over. Therefore, I summarize the things as EPS wins the legacy war.
Okay, EPS wins the legacy war. Mr. Rajashekharan, your response.
I'll put it.
Mr. Pugayendi, I'll come to you. I'll come to you, Mr. Pugayendi. I'll come to you for a rebuttal. Let Mr. Rajashekharan quickly. Yes, let him voice his opinion.
First, Swati, I'll put it for your North Indian viewers, like Mr. Rajagopalan would understand in the same language which he spoke. Yedapadi Palaniswamy has committed a grave mistake by indulging in these kind of activities, and Mr. OPS has won the battle as on date on merits, because see, the cadres of the party wanted OPS to lead the party. How? You ask me how, I'll tell you.
What about today's mandate? What about today's decision?
Yes. See, I'll tell you, whatever OPS had been was at the behest of BJP. He was asked to protest against Sasikala, he protested. He was asked to come out with 18 MLAs, he came out. Whatever the BJP, my friend Rajagopalan instructed OPS, he did. Today, if OPS has become an orphan only because of Rajagopalan and his friends, and now they want to support EPS. EPS will be arrested any moment in Kodanadu case, or a Damocles sword is hanging on the Supreme Court for the CBI inquiry for all his scams. So AIADMK will become an headless chicken. And the General Secretary post, if you see the past, Jayalalitha was convicted as General Secretary, Sasikala was convicted as General Secretary, now Yedapadi will be convicted as General Secretary. So the General Secretary post is a greedy post which is sending everybody to the prison.
Okay, quick rebuttals from Kovai Sathyan first, then Mr. Rajgopalan.
Should not quit everything.
Okay, quick rebuttals.
He should be honest.
Mr. Sathyan.
No, probably he is trying to learn his expertise in astrology. So I wish him good luck for astrology. Nothing else to be said. For the viewers of North India, if they want to understand it better, let me tell you in Hindi itself. पिछले 20 दिन में 3 बार जा चुके हैं जुडिशरी नौकर के. सर आप थोड़ा वेट करिए ना. Let me finish. I didn't interfere when you are talking, so please spare your energy. You will get your time. पिछले 20 दिन में जुडिशरी को 3 बार जा चुके हैं OPS. किस चीज के ऊपर? जो खुद लेटर भेजे थे सब कैडर्स को, ये जनरल काउंसिल मीटिंग के लिए आई है. फिर बाद में वो रेजोल्यूशन पढ़ने के बाद वो ही खुद गए कोर्ट में कि ये नहीं चाहिए, दिस शुड नॉट हैपन. आप थोड़ा इसके ऊपर ऑर्डर दे दो कि दिस जनरल काउंसिल शुड नॉट हैपन. द पर्सन हु सेंट द लेटर, ही हिमसेल्फ गोज टू द कोर्ट एंड पैरेलली ही गिव्स अ लेटर टू द पुलिस. आप इसको रोको, किसी चीज के ऊपर इसको रोको. पुलिस वाले ने कह दिया नहीं ये मैरिज हॉल है, सेपरेट प्रॉपर्टी है, हम नहीं आ सकते इसके ऊपर. फिर उसके बाद डिवीजन बेंच में एक इंटरिम ऑर्डर आया था. दे कुड पास ओनली 23 रेजोल्यूशन, डोंट ब्रिंग इन एनी न्यू रेजोल्यूशन. सो द डिवीजन बेंच आल्सो डिडंट से डोंट कंडक्ट द जनरल काउंसिल मीटिंग. उसके बाद अभी तीसरी बार गया, अभी 11th टुडे द मीटिंग टुक प्लेस. फॉर दैट आल्सो ही नॉक द कोर्ट्स ऑफ द डोर. किस चीज के ऊपर? प्लीज स्टॉप द जनरल काउंसिल मीटिंग. 3 बार हार चुका है अभी. मैं आपके लिए एक और चीज बता दूं, पार्टी विल नॉट स्प्लिट बेस्ड ऑन दिस, क्योंकि 66 MLAs हैं एडपाडियर के साथ में. विथ अलायंस वी आर 75 MLAs. खाली 3 MLA उसके पीछे है. ही हिमसेल्फ इज एन MLA, अनदर अपार्ट फ्रॉम इट देयर आर 2 MLAs. विथ खाली 3 MLA लेके पार्टी को आप स्प्लिट नहीं कर सकते. मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द जनरल काउंसिल मेंबर्स तकरीबन 3000 लोग खुद लिख के दिए इलेक्शन काउंसिल में we need single leadership. This has to be brought in as a resolution. This has to be brought in as a resolution in General Council meeting, and it has been unanimously adopted and passed on. And court has time and again reiterated and said, whatever differences of opinion within the party, you sort it out within yourself. Court cannot interfere in this.
The majority has backed the decision, Mr. Pugayenthi. On what basis are you saying that OPS
the
has been
symbol on the
betrayed?
party goes by the majority, and the majority is with EPS.
Majority is with EPS, Mr. Pugayenthi.
No.
It is not a betrayal.
He is misleading. That's why Sorry, I have already mentioned very clear. This only the members of the party. The founder of the MGR, that is the MGR bylaw says very clear. Only the members of the party, 1.5 crore members, only have the rights to elect the leader. We least bother these MLAs, we least bother these MPs and other people.
There is no change
don't
in
want.
it.
That is the bylaw.
There is no change in
the
it.
bylaw you have to go. The bylaw will stand.
There is no change in that law.
Now, when you rejected, when the executive committee passed the resolution, these people have a majority rejected from the General Council. So naturally they are losing everything. They lose because no MLA, no MP, because the meanwhile, this both Edapadi Palaniswamy and Pannirselvam signed the A form, B form, declared. After that only these people elected. This is a larger question before the court. So no posting the AIADMK.
Swati, you give me a minute.
These things are going on. Lot of confusion.
Okay.
Here no question.
Okay, a lot of hands going up. Mr. Rajgopalan wants to come in. Mr. Rajgopalan wants to come in. Mr. Rajgopalan, the fight will now be taken to the court, says Mr. Pugayenthi, and the bigger question will be resolved by the court. In what manner and how has the OPS been expelled? So he's saying the cadre supports OPS. So how can you remove him?
No, we will not get into the legality angle, Swati. The reason being, it is a political issue. Now, Edapadi Palaniswamy is fighting for DMK's, removal from the political scene. Therefore, one has to have a sincere opposition in Tamil Nadu. Let us not get into the legalities because OPS has failed in 6 legal battles. District Court, High Court, Supreme Court. What else you want? The Election Commission. So therefore, my understanding is the Election Commission has recognized AIADMK, two-leaf symbol for AIADMK. Now the AIADMK General Council has elected Mr. Edapadi Palaniswamy as a temporary General Secretary. In 4 months' time, he is going to be another election. In that, let the EPS OPS fight it and come out. Let OPS show his strength. Why should he indulge in the violence and hand over the AIADMK party office to DMK? DMK Tamil Nadu police. Shekhar may argue today for DMK, but till yesterday he was supporting Narendra Modi. Till yesterday he was supporting OPS. He may blame me. I don't want to get into that. Single point, simple point, मुझे समझाना चाहता हूँ सब लोगों का जो EPS है, EPS को पास जयललिता लेगेसी लेकर के गया है. EPS is Eknath Shinde of Tamil Nadu. The reason being he has MLAs. For he is the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. As per the impressions of 8 crore Tamilians. Let us not go into the 1.5 crore cadre. The reason being he is going to be the real opposition leader. Pugayenthi may laugh it out. But you are going to be laughed at very soon. Wait and see. The reason being OPS has been laughed at today by everyone.
Okay, Shekhar Iyer, in the run-up to the elections, in the 4 months, do you see any drastic changes happening at all?
There is no drastic change because DMK wants to split that. DMK wants to take the control of their community.
I want Shekhar Iyer to come in. Mr. Rajashekharan, I'll come to you. I'll come to you after Shekhar Iyer. I'll come to you after Shekhar Iyer, please.
Swati, see, the reality is OPS does not command the rank and file. I mean, whatever may be the reasons with him or without him, he has lost support of lot of leaders in the southern districts who happen to be Tevars. See, to simply play the Tevar card again doesn't work because whether one is a Tevar or a Gounder or a Vandier or whatever, those who are AIADMK workers and leaders who want to carry forward the Jayalalitha's legacy and MGR's legacy, they are looking at the future. And they already feel that, look, the DMK has been somehow helping OPS. Otherwise, why should they lock up that ADMK headquarters today, as Mr. Rajagopal pointed out? So there is already a feeling, look, AIADMK should reoccupy that opposition space, because you have the BJP breathing down everyone's neck under Annamalai. It has been very active, very vigorous, and the fear is if the AIADMK does not get into active mode, the BJP emerges the most important opposition party in Tamil Nadu. So therefore, at this moment, I think OPS may go on courts, he can go to election commission, but the fact remains his support base is limited to his own sons and also few leaders who are with him. That is why they resort to violence on the streets. If you had support in the General Council, that would have been, before all of us today. But that did not happen.
Okay,
I think OPS should have gracefully accepted what was offered earlier today.
Swati, now such a grand old party, AIADMK, which was representing the majority caste, community, religion of Tamil Nadu, has been decimated as a fringe party. Counter 1 year Kutchi. It can be called as GVK. AIADMK is no more. It is dead from today. Only Gounder 1 year are dominant. Maybe 2 Brahmins in the panel may love it. It is AIADMK. Because these people are fringe party. These people are fringe party.
You're calling the majority a fringe party.
66 MLAs fringe party.
You're calling the majority a fringe party.
See, I'll tell you.
66 MLAs.
I'll tell you how.
No, the political acumen of Rajshekhar is astounding.
No, I'll tell you. Please allow me.
No, Rajshekhar is not representing any political party, Swati. He cannot blame the AIADMK party.
No, what are you talking, Mr. Rajshekhar? You are calling the principal opposition with 75 MLAs as a fringe party.
He's not a lawyer. He's not representing any political party.
Where did you gain your political knowledge and acumen?
Your political knowledge is being questioned, Mr. Rajshekhar.
I'm a politician. I know what is happening.
Swati, can I come in?
Yes, Kovai Sathyan, Rajshekhar is saying the majority is a fringe party.
Reduced to a counter 1 year Kutchi.
Yeah, a party which lost with just 3% vote share, a party which lost the helm of affairs with 3% vote share, which translates to 17 lakh votes out of 8 crore population. We saw the third time, and Mr. Rajshekhar is calling us a fringe party from today. I seriously doubt his political acumen. And the point here is, there is no change in the elevation of General Secretary rule laid out by our founder. Mr. Purenji is trying to confuse the people. It still says the General Secretary shall be chosen by the primary members of the party, which will happen in 4 months' time. The election is going to happen in 4 months' time. And what? No. The coordinator and joint coordinator post given to Mr. OPS and EPS was the same General Council way back in 2017. He happily agreed to it. Now is this the same General Council which is saying we don't want a coordinator and a joint coordinator? You go to the court, you fall flat, and you indulge in vandalizing the temple, which is our party headquarters. You take thugs, you take paid rowdies and goons. Under your leadership, they vandalize and ransack the party headquarters. And you elope with files.
Okay, I want to bring in Mr. Rajgopalan. Mr. Rajgopalan, C. Rajshekhar has called the majority a fringe. Mr. Kovai Sathyan, of course, hitting back. Tell me something, Mr. Rajgopalan. How is the BJP viewing these developments at this point of time?
BJP wants to create a space in Tamil Nadu, which every political party, even Rajshekhar may call BJP as a fringe party because he does not have political acumen. I blame Mr. Rajshekhar. The reason being, he does not represent any political party and he cannot come and say one party is fringe, another party. Coming to your point, Madam Swati, BJP will view that all the three should combine together and fight out Karunanidhi's family party called DMK, Gaur Parivarvad Party. If these two, Sasikala and TTV Dinakaran and OPS, are going to side with MK Stalin and DMK, then God save Tamil Nadu. The reason being, my understanding is, OPS has fallen into the trap of DMK. OPS has fallen into the trap of violence. OPS distributed everything to Supreme Court, High Court, Lower Court. He did not win anywhere. Now his option is only one wide open, whether he joins DMK or that sort. He will join DMK.
You've been equating the situation in Tamil Nadu that of Maharashtra. Mr. Rajgopalan, I want to ask a quick follow-up question. I want to bring in Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar Iyer, is there going to be a Eknath Shinde in DMK, or will this power struggle continue in AIADMK?
No, well, the Eknath Shinde of DMK will happen when Stalin decides his successor. That may happen in a few months' time when he decides to give a role to Udaynithi Stalin. So that is a story that is waiting to happen. But at the moment, definitely, when somebody is attempting to put the ADMK back in form, somebody is attempting to put ADMK as an opposition, I mean, making it more vigorous, because this infighting has eaten into the vitals of the party, and the rank and file are very upset. They feel that OPS, such a senior person, he should have gracefully accepted a formula that was offered by the interlocutors. He was even given the chance of heading the presidium. He could have accepted gracefully and taken care of whatever his interest. Instead of that, I think he has played into a larger game of which he will be the sufferer, because neither Sasikala or TTV Dinakaran can come to his aid at this juncture. It is entirely going to be EPS, and EPS, apart from the fact that he managed to, bring a decent number to the ADMK in the last election, he has also impressed the rank and file. We cannot deny that. See, therefore, this is the reality before the people, and people are looking, because people have been asking what has happened to ADMK in Tamil Nadu. Because people of Tamil Nadu are also looking at the option. You have the DMK under Annamalai, which is surging ahead. But what about the ADMK? I think today's developments have a lot to do with what the public pulse is, saying in Tamil Nadu. Swati.
Swati, only 1 second, you give me an opportunity. Only 1 second.
Yes.
You asked about Eknath Shinde, who is in DMK. No. The point is, OPS has spoiled the future of Tamil Nadu and the aspirations of youngsters of Tamil Nadu. The reason being, in DMK, there is a vast amount of problems in DMK. They are camouflaging it with a lot of things. As Shekhar Iyer said, once Udaynithi has taken over as DMK's president, then there will be one Eknath Shinde in DMK also. It is comparatively comparison between Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu.
Okay, more and more similarities in your argument between Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Kovai Sathyan, has OPS been completely cut off? Will he get an opportunity to fight it out?
Swati, may I come in?
Hello.
After Mr. Sathyan.
Hello, asking me. Hello.
No, even today in the General Council, the seat on the dais was vacant. As a treasurer, he was invited. But he took a call to go take goons and thugs and vandalize the party headquarters, which is not welcomed well by the party cadres, but the people as well. Whatever the element of 0.1% of sympathy or soft corner people had on him is lost today. And he has to script his future. He has already lost
what is going to be?
3 or 4 times on the judiciary fighting for the leadership role. Now henceforth he will be alive. He will be alive only in media like Sasikala.
Yeah.
What is going to be Mr. OPS's future?
Like
what is going to be his next step?
Swati!
No.
Please.
Mr. Pugayendi.
No, one second. 2017. This is the ordered by Election Commission of India. That 2 leaves allotted, led by Madhusudanan Group. The means not only the... No, sir, you allow me to speak, sir. Then you allow me to speak.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Then that is the group, Mr. O. Pannirselvam and another one, Semmere. That only that Election Commission given all the rights to Mr. O. Pannirselvam, because that another Madhusudanan is no more now. Now, that intervener, only the Edapadi Padisammy, I am also intervener. So, the middle, he came and joined, except by that O. Pannirselvam.
What did Supreme Court say today? What did Supreme Court say?
Clearly, bylaw says that, what Supreme Court says, according to the law, go and conduct the General Council meeting. Here, no law.
What was held today? General Council was held today.
Everything misleading, everything against the law. Everything is
a go-ahead came from the court, sir, to conduct the meeting, and the meeting was conducted. You are calling it invalid.
Without the knowledge of...
You are calling it invalid. Mr. Rajashekaran is calling the majority and its mandate a fringe party. Mr. Rajashekaran, complete your point before I go across Shekhar Iyer for one last comment.
Yes, Swati, See, 2,300, of course, I wouldn't say all were purchased. Majority of them were purchased by Edapadi, and they are not the whole of ADMK. The 2,300 people are not whole of ADMK. See, and accusing O Pannirselvam for taking side with DMK is really a funny statement from Rajagopalan, because it is the DMK which is now taken the initiative.
Okay, I have to wrap up, but before that, Shekhar Iyer, last word to you, and a very quick question in terms of, you know, this personality factor that we see in politics of Tamil Nadu. On one side is MK Stalin, on the other side, of course, now with the majority is EPS. Does he have that kind of impact?
Well, EPS has managed, you know, if you look at the last few years or months, you know, before the assembly elections last year, EPS managed to put up, I would say, a good show by ADMK. And the other thing is, you see, today Tamil Nadu doesn't have any personalities like Jayalalitha or Karunanidhi or MGR. This is a new era in Tamil Nadu politics where you will have to carry the rank and file with you, and you'll have to place before people, you know, alternatives. You'll have to place before people the issues of governance. So therefore, I think OPS is, I'm afraid, is now history. Swati.
Okay. OPS is history, says Shekhar Iyer. Mr. Rajashekharan believes that the majority is a fringe party. Well, let's see how developments take place in Tamil Nadu, since OPS has said he's going to challenge this expulsion in the court. Let's see how it plays out as far as the legal developments are concerned. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Mr. Rajagopalan will continue with us for debate number 2. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.